Let me tell you something. You don't hear every day how a woman screaming at sunrise turned my quiet retirement into a federal takedown that ripped the mask right off a criminal HOA empire. Get off this dock right now. That's what I woke up to. Karen Brooks, our HOA president, shrieking like her voice could part the lake. 6 in the morning, I'm just sitting there minding my business line in the water when a pack of strangers on jet skis storms my dock, trashing the place like they owned it. But the thing that really made me want to throw my coffee wasn't the oily wakes or the blaring speakers. It was Karen herself standing there in her business suit, defending these clowns like I was the one trespassing on my own property. 3 years I'd put up with her power trips, and on that day I decided it was time to fight back. You ever been bullied by an HOA? Drop a comment if you have. This one's for you. 5 minutes earlier, Willow Creek had been paradise morning mist, drifting across glassy water, honeysuckle in the air. My tackle box organized to the last lure thermos of coffee steaming away. 20 years in construction taught me to document everything, so my phone was right there on the dock rail, just waiting. That piece shattered fast. A mechanical roar sliced through the quiet 3 jet skis, tearing up the no-wake zone like they owned the lake. Behind them, a white speedboat pulled up slow, and there was Karen, hair done up like she had a press conference at sunrise. One of the jet ski guys, a stocky type with Lake Life Lux on his jacket, pointed at me, and all of them veered my way, wakes churning up the water, drowning out the honeysuckle with pure gasoline stink. "This is private property," I called out, trying to keep my cool. The lead guy just laughed, sprayed water all over my fishing gear, and said, "The lady from the HOA said we could use any dock we wanted, old man. Take it up with her." Now, after 3 years of Karen's creative lawmaking, I'd learned to be ready. I set down my mug, picked up my phone, and started recording. "I'm Robert Hamilton. This is my dock as detailed in my deed. You're trespassing. Leave now." They ignored me, tying up their jet skis to my cleats, cracking open beers, blasting music, and live streaming some nonsense about entitled homeowners. "Sir, you can't stop us from using public waterways." Another one said, board shorts and all, like he was used to getting his way. "We have permits for recreational activities." "Show me the permits," I said, and that's when the lead guy started getting mean, untied my fishing lines, tossed them in the water. Another one rifled through my tackle box, and the influencer woman kept filming, narrating about toxic lake residents for her followers. I'd had enough. "See, old habits die hard." I started untying their jet skis. 60 seconds to leave, I told them. "You can't touch our equipment," the lead guy snapped. "Watch me." That's when Karen arrived, white speedboat blazing up with enough drama for a soap opera. She leapt onto my dock in a suit that cost more than my first car, face flush, shrieking, "Bob, what the heck do you think you're doing to my guests?" I held up my property deed I'd learned after 3 years of her games to keep it handy. "I don't care if they're celebrities, Karen. They need to leave. The HOA has authority over community water access," she screamed. "I make the rules here." That was the moment I'd waited 3 years for. Karen Brooks on camera claiming she could override private property with HOA power. She went off about her important guests, an influencer with 89,000 followers, 2 rich developer brothers, a commissioner's wife. This wasn't about community or rules. It was about Karen using our neighborhood as her personal event planning gold mine. "You're destroying everything I've built," she cried, confessing to using her HOA title for private business. I got it all on video. Then Karen made a call to Officer Miller, a loud, dramatic performance for her audience. "We have a homeowner interfering with community activities," she said, then switched the name to Steve mid-conversation and finished the call in under 30 seconds. No details, no dispatcher, not even a voice on the other end. It was pure theater, but I recorded every second. The sun burned through the mist, revealing an oil slick where the jet skis had been fish darting away, the air stinking of gasoline. Karen's guests suddenly weren't enjoying themselves. The influencer stopped filming. The brothers whispered. The commissioner's wife looked worried. Karen got close, dropped her voice. "You have no idea who you're dealing with. These people can ruin your reputation with a single post." But I saw it clear she wasn't protecting the community, she was running a racket. "I'm documenting this for legal purposes," I told her loud enough for the neighbors. She laughed shrill and wild. "The board will see exactly who causes problems here. Officer Miller will be here any minute." But when I reviewed my recording, the call was obviously staged, no background like a real dispatcher, just domestic sounds. Karen Brooks had faked a police call on camera. I called the sheriff's department as soon as her circus left my dock. "There's no Officer Miller in this county," the dispatcher told me. That's when I knew Karen's performance was her downfall. By evening, she'd flooded every community page with her version: aggressive homeowner attacks, community guests with edited video, making me look like the crazy one. Her professional grade cut turned my calm requests into angry rants, my phone into a weapon, my defense of property into gatekeeping. The neighborhood split instantly. Her supporters claimed I was some hermit ruining the community, but others started asking questions about permits and insurance. Then her important guests piled on Instagram influencer, crying to her followers. The jet ski operator threatening legal action, the developers saying they might pull their investment, and the commissioner's wife supposedly calling to express concern about me. But 20 years in construction taught me if someone attacks this hard, this fast, they're hiding something. First, I checked with the county clerk. My dock was by deed and HOA rules, not under community control. No HOA emergency authority could override my ownership. Then I called Julia, our treasurer, the one board member I actually trusted. She'd already noticed red flags. Karen had never cleared commercial watercraft activities or insurance with the board. Worse, our community policy excluded exactly this kind of risk. If something had gone wrong, every homeowner would be liable with no coverage. And Julia had seen irregularities in the accounts, vendor contracts, cash expenses, all with Karen's signature but no approval. Next thing, my doorbell rings. "Tom Jenkins, new neighbor paralegal, wants to talk." "What happened this morning?" "Mr. Hamilton, I've been researching HOA law, and Karen's behavior set off every alarm. Using HOA power for private business is fraud," he said. "False advertising to lure buyers is a lawsuit waiting to happen. Collecting fees for unauthorized activities. Legal dynamite." Suddenly, this was bigger than trespassing. This was a pattern that could crash property values and nuke the whole community's finances. But Karen wasn't backing down. She called an emergency meeting, told the local news I was a menace, and tried to flip the story. Julia uncovered 3 private events in 6 months, all paid in cash, all off the books. Meanwhile, the environmental damage worsened by the hour. My dock now surrounded by an ugly petroleum rainbow, dead fish floating the air reeking of fuel. Dr. Elizabeth Carter, our state biologist neighbor, confirmed it. Petroleum discharge into protected wetlands triggers federal law. Now it was criminal. Right then I got a text. "Stop digging into Karen's business or your own HOA violations will go public." Threats. But after 3 years of following the rules, I had nothing to hide. Julia called. She'd found that Karen was using official HOA letterhead to advertise her Elite Lake Events business. That's nonprofit abuse, a federal crime. Evening came and Karen was ready for war. Emergency meeting at 7. Agenda: repeat HOA violations by hostile residents. Her plan was to turn the meeting into a public trial with herself as prosecutor and her friends as witnesses. But in her rush to control the narrative, she'd left a trail of evidence a mile wide: retaliation. She sent me a backdated violation and a $500 fine for a shed that had already been approved years ago. I just smiled. Every nail, every permit, every survey was in my file. Julia's final audit was the bombshell: $23,400 missing vendor contracts with Karen's associates, forged board minutes, secret cash deals. Tom built the legal case nonprofit, fraud, tax evasion, environmental crimes, mail fraud, conspiracy, and Dr. Carter's report guaranteed a federal investigation. Karen's undoing came at the emergency meeting. She started her show, protecting community values against individual entitlement, playing her edited footage. But when I asked for her permit number for the jet ski event, she bluffed. Julia stood up bank records, forged minutes, unauthorized spending. The room turned. Tom explained the federal statutes Karen had broken. When I played security footage of Karen taking cash during a board meeting she claimed to attend, she melted down, confessing to everything right in front of a reporter. 47 neighbors and half the board. The vote of no confidence was nearly unanimous. Karen screamed, "I quit. I'm done. Run your community without me." But as she hit the door, I told her, Karen quitting won't stop the federal investigation. The IRS already has our evidence. She turned white as a sheet. The federal agents came next. IRS, EPA, FBI, every letter you don't want knocking. They discovered Karen's scheme stretched across counties, other HOA presidents, encrypted chats, shell companies. Karen's little empire unraveled overnight. The EPA ordered cleanup, the IRS froze her accounts, and the FBI built a RICO case that would shake the region. Her co-conspirators, jet ski guy, influencer, developers, the commissioner's wife, they all faced their own charges, fines, career-ending scandals. Julia was elected HOA president, started quarterly audits, transparent meetings, resident oversight, property values jumped 8%. And me. My little investigation became a blueprint for stopping HOA corruption nationwide. I started consulting for other communities, my Hamilton method now taught in law enforcement seminars. The best part, the lake healed. The honeysuckle came back, the fish returned, and kids learned to fish off the dock I fought to protect. Julia. Tom, Dr. Carter. We became friends, defenders of what's right proof, that one person standing up, documenting, persisting, can change everything. So let me ask you, have you ever seen corruption like this in your community? Would you stand up or would you back down? Drop your thoughts below, share your story, and let's remind these would-be Karens, justice doesn't just happen. You have to make it. If you believe in holding power accountable, hit subscribe and tell us where you're watching from. Because the next community that needs saving just might be yours.